Rotary is supporting service around the world. But when you have an opportunity to participate in what I'm considering a lifetime decade project for the community of Edwardsville, this will be a gift that helps children now and families now, and just will be for multiple generations. So thank you for choosing the center as your project, and we will use the money wisely. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to screen share today or look at the screen and go through the project. So we have three individuals, myself and two others from Edwardsville. Most of you know our Rotarian Nate Tingley is our Parks Director. And Eric Williams has spoken at Rotary before. He's our Public Works Director. So Eric will be on today as well. But first, I was thinking about the Windlands, and I was like, oh, I can't forget their names because I really haven't met them. And then I was like, oh, Carol, that's easy. And Harry, yeah, I'm married to a Carrie, and my real name's Harold. So we're pretty darn close in first names there to the Windlands. So nice to meet you, and thank you again for your contribution. This project, those of you who have been following the Better Place to Play program, is the third and final effort that we're making to improve our park system and improve just life experiences within our community. The Spray and Play Park, that was our first one. Just brings smiles to your face when you're there and you're seeing the young kids getting wet and playing on the playground and playing, on the splash pad. That was followed by a more athletic park, where we have soccer, pickleball, baseball, and different opportunities there that will grow in the future at Plummer Family Park. But this project, I literally have been working on since 2013. Started it with Dr. Hightower when he was superintendent of schools, and we moved it with a grant and with a naming rights donor to, we're almost there. I think Eric will go through some of the details with you in a few minutes when he pulls the slides up, but I'm just going to describe, where we're at. A week from today, the bids will come back in. So we have the project out for bid, and those bid documents are being reviewed by contractors. And so hopefully we get an excellent number. Literally, if you would say a prayer next Thursday, that number comes in within an affordable range. We've had a tremendous outpouring of support on the revenue side. We have different features to be named. The Windlands will have a fitness room at the new building in the corner, and that will be enjoyed and used by a lot of folks. But we have a community room still available. That community room can be used anything from bridge playing to working on computers and maybe driver's ed training, other things that the city we see other communities do. We have a very exciting teen center that's being supported by Junior Service. A Junior Service organization is going to have that teen center function for after-school tutoring, as well as test preparation for college and Wi-Fi. This is a huge time for some families that live in the rural areas and can't afford Wi-Fi. This will be a facility that they can stay after school, get the homework done, and participate with that sort of communications. The other thing, if we're excited about the track, it's a nice 1/8 of a mile, 4-lane rubberized track. It'll be great for not only training for athletes, but just those that want to get some exercise and do some rehab, be out and about, get some exercise. So the last thing is, of course, the ice portion of this. We plan to have a learn to skate program for those of you who are on today that maybe aren't gifted on the ice just yet, but there'll be a learn to skate program as well as a learn to play program. Learn to play is where you share equipment and you allow kids that wouldn't normally have access to this sport to use some lightly used equipment, get out on the ice, and after they learn to skate, we have a tremendous number of parents and coaches in the area that love to donate their time and their skills to these kids. And once they get the opportunity to play, I mean, it's a sport that just, once you get a bite, you're hooked. So hopefully that will happen, real soon. One of the things I want to reach out to the Rotary members today, even though we've had a tremendous amount of support, we are working with the Edwardsville Community Foundation, and we were starting with the EGHM Foundation. Unfortunately, with changes that have occurred, some businesses that people don't own anymore and some retirements and moving out of the area, we really need some new businesses and some people that can step up and help us through the Edwardsville Community Foundation. One of the things we're looking for is the founder's wall. So a founder would, for example, donate $8,000 a year from their business or from their person for 5 years. Obviously, that would get to 40,000, and that would help us be able to reduce ice time fees for Edwardsville High School hockey. So instead of paying the full rate, we can offer it for 2/3, which basically covers our overhead. That also will perpetuate into the Learn to Skate program and the Learn to Play, because a lot of those high school players volunteer and serve in those other aspects of getting the kids out there. There will be obviously adult games. This will probably be our busiest facility. I mean, I know Plummer Family Park hosts a lot of tournaments, but this place will be open from 6 in the morning till midnight. And we'll turn a lot of folks through here. So it is an excellent place to advertise your business. The Dasher boards are a great view. We have a 10-year program on the Dasher board, which I think Nate will describe here in a little bit. We have a 5-year program for the Dasher board, and if you want to be part of the opening, you can do a 1-year agreement on the Dasher boards. But I think there's about 40 of those spots, and those go a long way to really helping us with this project. So again, we're close. I'm going to go off here in a little bit and ask Eric, our city engineer, to talk about the exciting features from an engineering standpoint. There's a lot to be done and a lot to be offered, but it all comes with the skills of these individuals who are doing the architectural design and the engineering. So with that, I need to thank another person that's on today, Tom Butts, a former alderman, has been doing a fabulous job. Please reach out to Nate, myself, or Tom Butts if you want to be part of that founders group. And it's not an exaggeration. We are not there yet. A lot of people have been talking about, I think we're going to get it this time. I really need to see, somebody be able to step up, or a business be able to step up, just like the Windlands did. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for helping us out. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to either Eric or Nate. Probably Eric, if you want to go through the slides. And it was great to see everybody at Rotary. I can't wait to eat lunch with you guys again, gals, and have some fun around at the church, so that in person is so much better for me than Zoom. You guys take care. Thanks again.
How's it going, everybody?
Good.
My name's Nate Tingley, and I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation. I'm a fellow Edwardsville Rotarian. And first thing I want to do is thank Harry and Carol for their very generous donation. I know you've been thanked multiple times. I can't wait to thank you in person and get to meet you and shake your hand. So just excited to get to put a face with the name, and thank you so much for that very generous donation. Also to the leadership and the members who approved this donation. So it says a lot about what you guys think of our efforts and this project. So I've got Eric playing Vanna White there. I'll probably pay for that later, calling him Vanna White. But he's going to run the slideshow, and I'm going to kind of take you through it. And this is slide 2, and that works totally fine because the mayor hit on a lot of this already. But also I want to kind of walk you through this slide and just kind of talk about who this is for, who this facility is for, and how it's going to impact our community, and then also how you guys can participate. So if you go to the next slide, we were on that one for quite a while, and bear with me. I am in my car in a parking lot alongside the interstate here, but you can see where the facility is located. You've got a pretty high up view there where it's going to be adjacent to Governor's Parkway and Tiger Drive, and that'll be just east there of the track. So you've got a really prominent location there, just behind the backside of the school there. So it's going to be really easy access for the teens. And so as we go to the next slide, you're going to be able to see we've got a teen room there. And instead of having our youth that don't have access to a car, maybe they need to stay after school for a little bit for tutoring, whatnot. And now where do they go for that time until the activity bus comes? They have to basically go to McDonald's, or they have to go to Wendy's, or they have to go to Starbucks. So this is a safe place basically where they can stay and come after school. And there's going to be a space there. And we're working with Junior Service Club such that they're actually talking to the students. What do they want to see in that space? So it's going to be an indoor space, but there's also going to be an outdoor patio there as well. So and we'll have a study room, and then they can have access to the rest of the facility as well. And one of the great things that happened here about a month ago, 2 months ago, is that intergovernmental agreement with Glen Carbon. That allowed us to basically let all the District 7 students come into the building. We don't have to worry about whether they're from Hamel or whether they're from Edwardsville or Glen Carbon. And all those students have equal access to the facilities there. So you can kind of see there at the map what we've got, and I'll kind of quickly walk you through different facets there. As you walk in, you've got the lobby, and then you've of course got the ice rink there. It's a single sheet facility at this time. It's an NHL size rink. We've got the teen center on the left side, and that just so you're aware, the rectangle on the left side is the first floor. The rectangle kind of in the middle there is the second floor, and that's the track is on the second floor, and the fitness areas are on the second floor. And so we're also in conversations with the track team to talk to them about would they like to use the track, in those colder months in February and January. And, this track will be able to allow them to put their blocks down on the surface. They'll be able to wear their spikes. So they can get their preseason workouts in just like a lot of the schools up north do in indoor facilities, so they can start a little bit sooner. We've also got on the first floor, we've got community rooms. That's number 4. We've got 2 community rooms there, and that wall right there can be taken down in between the 2 rooms, and that can be one large community room. We see clubs, the high school clubs using that space. We've got birthday parties that could be using that space on the weekends. We've also got card clubs like Bridge. They can come in, use that space. So I think it's a space that can be used by all the generations of the communities and various groups throughout the communities here. So we've got a concession stand right across the hallway there. That's number 9. And then just down the hallway, right as you walk in, number 10 is the donor recognition wall. So what happens when you have a larger donation is that you're going to have naming rights recognition at the site. So for Harry and Carol Winland, they'll be recognized both at the site of the small fitness center space up on the second floor, but also they'll be recognized at the donor recognition wall. And there will be a rendering. We'll get to that here as we move forward. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the renderings on the next slide that kind of give you a vision of what it's going to look like both on the outside, on the exterior of the building, and then also on the inside. You can see there the lobby and welcome desk, the track and ice rink, the teen center, and the fitness area. And that's the larger fitness area there as well. So if you go down to the next slide, we've got the schedule. And that kind of shows what we've completed so far. And many of you know the hurdles and the speed bumps that we've hit along the way. So it speaks a lot to the dedication, not just of the staff, and that's been obvious, but also the volunteers like Tom Butts and those focus groups that have spent countless hours helping us and guiding us in our plans. So right now, as he mentioned, the documents are out for bid, and we'll be looking at those bid documents on Thursday, February 18th, and then we hope to move forward with the best bid on the 25th at ACS and March 2nd, hopefully to City Council. If that holds true, you can see the rest of the schedule there with groundbreaking in the spring, and hopefully a year from now or 14 months from now, we can open the doors. All right, and the next slide, it really talks about, both the opportunities, but also those who have already taken advantage of those opportunities, like Contegra and Cordy, Edwardsville Bank and Byron Carlson, Petrie and Calvin, and all the various businesses here in town. And also we'll be listing, of course, Harry and Carol Winland there as well. I didn't want to list them just yet until I had their permission. So if they give me the permission, I will list them there. But you can also see what's left as far as naming rights opportunities. So it's been a lot of work. A lot of this work is due to Tom Butts. The mayor has done a lot as well, but Tom Butts has done a lot of the heavy lifting. And some of you may have already even spoken to him. So I can't thank him enough in his efforts. again, he's probably spent as much time as Eric and I have on this. The next slide talks about other opportunities and how people can get recognized at the donor recognition wall. So like I mentioned before, you would get recognized if you had the small fitness area, you'll get recognized there, but also at the donor recognition wall. And that's kind of a rendering of what it would look like and the different size circles based on the level of giving. And then for people who maybe are more of my means, maybe I can do a brick or a paver, right, for the family, and that'll be out front, right in the front lobby as you're walking in, so everybody can see that as you walk in. Thank you, Carol. I got that message there. That sounds great. And then the last slide there is the dashboards. The mayor mentioned that I would kind of cover a little bit of the details there, but I'm going to actually turn this over to Tom Butts. And Tom, you can go ahead and I'm going to mute myself so you can kind of, I told Tom he would kind of bring it home, and he was back in cleanup. So I will let Tom go ahead and speak here to any opportunities, and if anyone wants to follow up with us, I'll let Tom talk about how they can do that.
Thank you, Nate. It's been fun. It's been an exciting project. You've been too kind. We got one heck of a team. I would say between the planning group, the funding group, we've got over 50 people involved in this project, and people are excited about it. I just want to touch on a few ways to donate, and I'm sure most of you folks know, but we've had people who've donated who had to take a distribution from their IRA, for example, and they didn't really know where to go. We are a good place to deposit those IRA distributions. We've had donations of stock. The stock market has been extremely good right now. A lot of people have some very low basis stocks, and it's a way to avoid some capital gains that might be occurring out there, especially on anything you've held for 5 years or more. We've not had this yet, but being named as a beneficiary on a life insurance policy, you may have, you might not need. We're set up to handle that. As Hal mentioned, as Nate mentioned, we're working with the Edwardsville Community Foundation, and we have many ways to handle this money. We're working with Boosie Bank. If somebody wanted to take an IRA distribution, or if they wanted to donate stock. And again, if there's any questions on how this works, please reach out to me. I can be reached through the city's email, as well as my own, and I'm fortunate to know a lot of you good people. So feel free to do that. And another thing that we want to mention is if you want to make a pledge, you don't have to have all the money up front. We've got it set up right now that payments can be made over 3 tax years. So if you sign up, say for a dasher board, or you want a naming right, would be the first payment when the agreement is made between the city and yourself. The second payment then would be approximately 1 year from the first payment, and then we're asking the balance be paid by January 31st of 2023. And that gives you 3 tax years in the event you want to make a donation. We are a 501c3 through the ECF, and all the donations are tax deductible. Just to touch on a few things, I was still in city council in 2013 when we started this project, and the grant went in 2014. We didn't think we'd ever see the grant with the troubles that Illinois has had financially, but when it came to fruition, we acted upon it. Our goal was to raise 1.5 million through naming rights and other donations. We're currently north of 500,000. I think possibly by the end of today, we could be close to 600,000. The support from the Highland community has been very strong. It truly is a community destination. And it's really exciting to be part of it. I know Rich spoke for a little bit, and I know SJ is and Art are members of the Rotary here. You know, the other part of it is what the sales tax is generated from a project like this, from tournaments and people coming into town. The sales tax is what generates for the city. I call it the fun stuff that we can do. That isn't just for the nuts and bolts in the everyday running of the city. So there is a huge, huge net that is cast on a project like this. I know that the meeting has to be over by within an hour. So again, feel free to reach out to me either through the website or my phone number. If anybody wants to write it down, is 973-1015. 973-1015. And we'll try to help you out. But we appreciate the time. I'm a former Rotarian. I think Rotary is fantastic. It might be something that maybe I get energized again listening to you folks in your project. So Nate, what did I leave out?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Great job, Tom. I know there were a couple questions on there that I knew the answer to right away, and I've been checking the chat there and trying to get back to answer those. I think Tim had one question. I didn't know the exact answer on I know we're getting bonds. I don't know sorry, Tim, I don't know the exact funding source for how we're paying those bonds. Not sure if, Eric, do you know the funding source on that?
I do not. I know they've looked at a couple different options. A lot of it has been through capturing new growth, new property tax as buildings that are within the enterprise zone come on the tax roll. They've been trying to capture that, is what I believe Mayor Patton was looking at for the debt service on the bond.
Thank you, Eric. What other questions do you guys have?
Hey Nate, this is Kevin, and just curious on like the District 7 piece. Would that include access for those students that don't attend Edwardsville High School? Like ability to go in there and use the facility in the same sense that Edwardsville High School students will get the opportunity to?
Yeah, that is my vision. And again, there's still, and I think what we need to do is work out the details on that. But like are you talking like maybe your Father McGivney's or homeschool kids or Metro East Lutherans?
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's something where I want to be able to make this available to students, anyone in the school district, but also other schools that are here in the school district as well. It's a fine balance, and you know, I'm always pretty transparent with everybody because there's going to be a lot of people who want to have access to the building, but at the same time, it's got to be support itself, and it does have to turn a revenue such that it can pay for itself. It needs to sustain itself. It should not and will not be a tax burden on the community. So there's that balance of making sure we are charging people appropriately, but not overly so.
And Nate, you've worked up an O&M operations and management plan where this would actually be cost neutral to operate, or a slight profit to help offset future capital needs, so it can be self-sustaining once it's operational.
Yep. Yes, it will be self-sustaining, and we're going to be conservative in those estimates based on a feasibility study done this past fall, and what I believe will happen after it is built is that a lot of the teams that are local teams outside of Edwardsville, they will probably start talking with us as they start to see the ground being worked up and the building start going up. They're going to want to use this facility based on proximity, and that's going to be your Highlands, probably your Triads, Collinsville's. That it makes more sense, and so that's part of the reason why this facility is going to be double positive in that it's going to keep the local people who are already driving to other areas, other ice rinks for ice rink access. It's going to keep them here and keep their business here. But also it's going to turn, it's going to be another reason why people are going to want to come to Edwardsville. And so it's going to, again, generate people coming to Edwardsville and continue to make it a destination.
I don't know, as Mayor Patton noted, bids come in next week. The design of the structure, it's just a rectangular design. We tried to make it as cost efficient as possible for construction. It's a tilt-up concrete construction. A lot of contractors in the area are very familiar with that, so we expect that to be the most cost-effective means to build this. We did plan in the future on the roof section to have it sized where it could add solar panels in the future to help offset some of the costs. Right now, we as a municipality, we can't take advantage of some of the tax incentives that are in place, but the cost of these panels are coming down, so we may be able to work with Ameren in the future to help offset some of those costs for this. So that's one of the green items that we took into account during design. Otherwise, it's very straightforward building, nothing too extravagant. So.
Great questions, guys. Anything else? And I will say everyone should have gotten a promotional packet. The presentation you're seeing here that Eric and I are presenting is just a PowerPoint presentation, and this kind of needs something to kind of speak to it. The promotional packet that you should have received in your emails today really stands on its own. It's much more informative. It kind of includes a lot of the information that we're providing here orally. So if you have some more questions, dig into that. As far as employees, I definitely know that we're going to have at least 2 full-time staff. And then I would say a part-time staff between concessionaires, ice rink attendants, front desk attendants. You're probably looking at in the range of 12 to 20, probably a part-time staff averaging, $14 to $15 an hour. And there'll be Zamboni drivers. So, if anybody's interested in that, that might be a lot of fun. So if somebody's looking for some part-time work.
Wait a second, Nate. Wait a second. We're going to sell tickets for that. That's going to be a chargeable expense.
That's right. That's right.
Revenue provider. Sorry about that.
So great question, Masanda.
Good deal. Well, Nate, Eric, Hal, thank you guys very much. Great presentation. It's going to be a great addition to the community. I just can't wait.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.